In this segment, we're going to discuss wiping a surface clean. And what I've done here is I have a surface that's covered in what we call gross contaminants. Gross contaminants are contaminants that you can see with the naked eye. Typically a contaminant that's less than 1 micron. 1 micron is about the width of a hair. 1 micron or less is called submicron. So this is just an illustration using gross contamination because we can see it. If we did this test with submicron contamination, we couldn't see the particles, so we couldn't illustrate it. But large particles behave the same way that small particles do. And first what I want to do is I want to take one of our best-selling wipers. This is our polyester, standard weight, pressure heat sealed wiper. So it's a very, very clean wiper. And what I'm going to illustrate is what happens when you take a dry wiper and you go to wipe a surface clean. What you see is that very few of the particles cling to the wiper. Really what I've done is I've really just kind of moved around the particles. I've dispersed the particles because a dry wipe doesn't have any coefficient of friction. There's just a little texture on this wipe that causes some of the particles to be trapped, but the particles aren't going to cling to the wipe. And as you can see, as I shake the wiper, all the particles are going to come off. So it's a little bit of a misnomer when we ask clients, are you using a dry wipe or are you using a pre-wetted wipe? Because if the customer isn't ordering a pre-wetted wipe, they're having to take the dry wipe, mix chemistry, and then with a squeeze bottle, pre-wet the wipe. Because dry wipes are used for one purpose, for spills. Outside of a liquid spill, there's no reason to use a dry wipe because as we've illustrated here, the dry wipe is only going to disperse or move the particles around. So let me illustrate using a wetted wipe. In a pre-wetted wipe, the advantage of a pre-wetted wipe is the chemistry is vacuum packed into the wiper substrate. So you can see the wiper's wet, but it's not soaking to the point that the solvent is leaking out. If we take this pre-wetted wipe and we wipe on the surface, you can see, my gosh, look at the illustration, the difference. The particles tend to cling to the pre-wetted wiper. The reason why the particles cling, I call it PAT, particle attraction technology. Some of this has to do with cations and anions. When you saturate a wiper with isopropyl alcohol, you change the chemical properties of the wiper, and the wiper is actually going to attract particles. Particles are going to cling. And you see the moisture on the wiper causes the particles to still cling to the wiper. Even after repeated shakings, this wiper is still retaining the particles. Now this was just for illustration purposes. In a real clean room, you wouldn't have particles this large. But the reason why I use the large particles is just to illustrate that a dry wipe really just moves the particles around. And very few particles cling to the wiper substrate. You really need a pre-wetted wiper, or you need to buy a dry wipe that you wet in-house, or you need to order a wiper that's pre-wetted that's going to have the PAT, particle attraction technology. In this pre-wetted wiper, the particles will cling to and stay captured in the wiper substrate. Then just one final illustration. One wiper surface should have one wiper pass. So the correct way to wipe a surface clean is I folded it in quarters. So this is one pass. Then I use the back side and I get another pass, okay? Then I take this and I fold it over and I get a third pass, and then I take it and I fold it over again and I get a fourth pass. And then if I repeat this with the back side, you actually see that you can get 8 passes with one wiper surface. This is very important that you not take the wiper surface and wipe the same surface twice, because what you will potentially do is cross-contaminate. What you want to do is the contaminants that are on the surface, you want them to cling to the wiper just one time and then use a fresh surface. Thank you.